The Galactic Naval Treaty was simple. Military vessels were off-limits. You could spy, sabotage trade routes, even engage in proxy wars through third parties. But you never, ever touched another species' warships directly. It was the one rule that kept the fragile peace from collapsing into total war. The Hadrosian Confederation knew this rule. They'd helped write it. They broke it anyway. The UESS Valiant was on routine patrol near the Kepler terminus when the reactor breach occurred. 1,700 crew dead in 40 seconds. The investigation found Hadrosian quantum charges placed in the engine core during a recent diplomatic station visit. Sophisticated, nearly undetectable, timed to look like an accident. Nearly undetectable, but not quite. Earth's diplomatic corps filed the evidence with the Galactic Council, expecting sanctions, reparations, the usual bureaucratic response. Instead, they got apologies and hand-wringing. The Hadrosians were economically powerful, politically connected. The Council couldn't conclusively prove their involvement despite overwhelming evidence. Earth's ambassador made one statement: "Then we'll handle this ourselves." The Council assumed that meant more investigations, legal proceedings, trade restrictions. They were catastrophically wrong. 72 hours later, every Hadrosian military vessel in known space simultaneously lost power. Not damaged, just offline. 300 warships, 40 orbital defense platforms, 12 starbases. All dark, all helpless. The Hadrosian High Command screamed for emergency council intervention. Before the meeting could even convene, Earth's message broadcasted across every channel in the galaxy. The Hadrosian Confederation violated the naval treaty by destroying the UESS Valiant with premeditated sabotage, killing 1,700 of our people. We warned the Council. They did nothing. So we're implementing the cost ourselves. Admiral James Harrison appeared on screen, his expression carved from stone. Every Hadrosian military asset is currently under our control. We've infiltrated their systems over the past 6 months. Every ship, every station, every defense grid. We didn't do this after the Valiant. We did this before as insurance because we've learned that galactic justice is a luxury the powerful can afford to ignore. The council chamber erupted in chaos. The Hadrosian ambassador was screaming about acts of war, demanding immediate retaliation. Harrison continued as if he hadn't heard. Here are your options, Hadrosian Confederation. Option 1. You publicly admit to destroying the Valiant, pay reparations to every family affected, and submit to independent war crime tribunals. We'll return control of your fleet. He paused, letting the weight settle. Option 2. You refuse, and we demonstrate exactly what we can do with complete access to your military infrastructure. Spoiler, it ends with your entire fleet turning its weapons on itself. You're bluffing, the Hadrosian ambassador shouted. You can't control our entire military. Harrison pressed a button. On screens across the galaxy, a single Hadrosian destroyer's weapons activated and fired directly at another Hadrosian ship's engines, disabling but not destroying it. That was us, Harrison said flatly. Want to see what happens when we stop being gentle? The silence was deafening. Option 3, Harrison continued, his voice dropping to something cold and final. You do nothing. In exactly 24 hours, every Hadrosian military vessel will receive new programming. They'll return to your homeworld and establish a permanent orbital blockade against you. Your own fleet will imprison your entire civilization until you comply with every demand we've made. And they'll stay there, under our control, for as long as it takes. The Hadrosian ambassador looked to the council for support. Every representative sat frozen, calculating the implications. If Earth could do this to the Hadrosians, they could do it to anyone. The rule was simple, Harrison said. Don't tamper with Earth's fleet. You knew the cost of breaking it. The council chose not to enforce it, so we're enforcing it ourselves. 24 hours, Confederation. Choose wisely. The Hadrosians capitulated in 6 hours. Full admission, full reparations, full cooperation with tribunals. But the real message rippled through the galaxy long after. Humanity didn't just prepare for war. They prepared for betrayal. They infiltrated, compromised, and controlled potential threats before those threats even materialized. The naval treaty was never broken again, not because species suddenly grew ethical, but because everyone now understood Earth didn't trust galactic justice. They built their own, and the cost of testing them was no longer hypothetical. It was absolute that Re-Triclawed can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.